Explaining every special intro in KOF 98 Part 2. That's right, we're doing a sequel to this video I posted a couple of months ago. There it is. I'd like to recommend that you watch that video before you watch this video. Link in the description. It includes all the context required to watch this video. And yes, it's a continuation, and every single one of these I'm going to be doing in a specific order. That's probably why it took so long as well. I explained what a special intro is, but if you don't know, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. A special intro is basically an interaction between two characters who know each other, and it only triggers when the two characters are about to face one another in a battle. So, without further ado, because this has been overdue for a long time, let's begin.
覚悟はできたかな?
Me thinks you are strong. Okay. Kyo Kusanagi, heir to the Kusanagi clan, one of the 3 sacred clans that slayed the mighty beast Orochi, wielder of the Kusanagi sword, heir to the Kusanagi sword, heir to the Kusanagi heritage, current master of the Kusanagi style of ancient martial arts, a man wielding great strength. It would be my greatest honor to challenge you. Oh, damn one, it's you. I didn't see you there. Did you say something? Terry Bogard and Andy Bogard. These two are brothers, hence why they share the surname Bogard. Yeah, I know that was a huge mystery, like 50% of you are losing your minds right now. It is unclear if they are biological or adopted brothers, since they were both adopted at the same orphanage by a man named Jeff Bogard, who adopted them, then giving them the surname Bogard. The relationship between them is a typical relationship you would expect from two brothers who both share mutual respect for one another as people. As fighters, the two share a rivalry, but it's pretty one-sided, with Andy either losing to someone who Terry beats eventually or Andy losing to Terry directly. This is something Andy obsesses about and is the cause of his constant training. Terry, being aware of this, tries to fight strong opponents every day as much as possible as to not be surpassed by Andy because he considers Andy to be his greatest rival.
Round ball! Hi, handsome boy. Round ball! Hi, handsome boy.
Terry Bogard and Mary Ryan. This is my personal favorite relationship in the series, so bear with me. I know, technically speaking, it's not stated anywhere in paper that these two are together. Officially, they're just mutual love interest, and that's all we're supposed to believe. Yeah, right. If you don't know by now, Terry Bogard is the face of SNK. Not just Fatal Fury, not just SNK fighting games, the face of SNK in whatever context, like the literal mascot of the company. And if you take a glance at him, I think you'll be able to understand why. Now, it's worth mentioning that there's quite a large gap between Terry first appearing in Fatal Fury and Blue Mary first appearing, namely 4 years. There's such a gap that SNK created a female character, their first female character, Mai Shiranui, for the sole purpose of being their first female character to rival Chun-Li, but somehow they didn't create her for the purpose of being in a relationship with their main male protagonist. Instead, Mai was in a relationship with Andy, which was established in her second appearance, Fatal Fury Special. Instead, Terry would see his share of relationships in the media outside of the main games, with him getting love interests in the Fatal Fury motion pictures. In Blue Mary's case, it does to an extent feel like she was created partially to play the role of Mai's girlfriend, but Mary unfortunately has a lot in her plate as well. Mary Ryan, codename Blue Mary, is a private investigator or detective, which means she's constantly on the move exploring the ugliest parts of the world, namely Southtown. Besides her everyday responsibilities and livelihood, she's constantly mourning the loss of her own father and the man who was her fiancé, Butch. The same man who gave her her jacket that she now wears until this day, or at least until her City of the Wolves ending. It even implied that Geese has level of responsibility in the terrorist that killed her father and fiancé. Terry understands Mary's pain, as he also shares in the misfortune of watching his father die in front of him, like Blue Mary at the hands of Geese. It is possible that Terry also has a deceased girlfriend by the hands of Geese, which is canon in the OVAs, but I've yet to see it being confirmed in the game's plotline, so I'll just say it's a possible part of the pain they share together. Now, just how much they share and they bond over the pain they have with one another has not yet been confirmed. There's never really been a conversation where they just get to talk to one another about that sort of thing, right? But what I like about their relationship is the simplicity of it. The two of them are not an official couple, but they just take rides around the city on Mary's Harley, go to the bar together, share an interest in sports, and even travel places with each other. And while Terry isn't someone I would label as romantic, he still shows gestures of being a gentleman and a mature companion whenever Mary is around. A trait I don't usually see him show around other characters, but due to his personality, I can believe it. While the special intro shows Mary openly flirting with him, in a deeper context, I can see her viewing Terry and her pet dog, Anton, to be her only signs of true happiness and composure in her unforgiving everyday life and all the harsh experiences she's had in the world. My Shiranui and Andy Bogard, or as I like to call them, Mighty. Now, the status of this relationship depends on who you ask, because if you ask Andy, he'll say she's a love interest, and if you ask Mai, she'll call him her lover, or future husband, or potential fiancé. Long story short, Mai and Andy both practice Shiranui Ryu Ninjutsu, as they were both trained by Mai's grandfather, Hanzo Shiranui. During their time of early training, Mai didn't think much of Andy due to his obsession with training and becoming stronger. However, this opinion would then change when Andy gave Mai a birthday present, and she's been tailing him ever since. They spend time with each other almost constantly to the point where Mai, in public, would make gestures to seduce Andy to proposing to her, something which Andy finds a bit embarrassing. Now, if you look at this intro, I think it's kind of funny since it focuses on their common trait of both being ninja, but it is in no way a full representation of their relationship and the crazy antics they get on a daily basis. It's quite misleading actually, since this is probably the most tame special intro they have together in the entire series. Maybe besides the one about the air conditioner in KOF 14. And as proven by their special intros in the other games, their relationship is one I would describe as anything but normal. Joe Higashi and King. This one is easy. Joe is canonically the Muay Thai champion of the world after beating Hua Jai. Yes, this guy. King, while she doesn't compete in Muay Thai competition, she does practice Muay Thai herself, but not the Thai version, but a Korean version known as Mingek Do. And if you know anything about Koreans, they love kicking. So much that they will literally force it on any other martial art that they get their hands on. Or I guess their feet on. For literally this reason alone, Joe considers her version of Muay Thai to be inferior to his, and as a result, will constantly taunt her about it. I think it says more about what he thinks of Koreans. King, on the other hand, likes to play it off, treating it like it's some sort of one-sided rivalry perhaps, but Even though she sees it as him being childish, it does low-key annoy her. Ryo Sakazaki versus King. Okay, first of all, let's address the elephant in the room because someone is gonna ask. No, this is not a dude. King is not a dude. It is not a man. She is not a man. She is a woman, a proper French woman. Not a man. King is not a man. King is not a man. She dresses like this for two reasons. The first reason is very simple. King runs her own bar, known as Illusion Bar, and she dresses like this because there she is a bartender, and I assume that dressing like this is just some extra promotion just to promote her wine and all the different cocktails that she makes and she sells at her bar. The second reason she dresses in this manner actually goes far back to the first game in the Art of Fighting series in which she originates, Art of Fighting 1, where in the story, to make money for her sick brother, who had to go through leg surgery, she decided to work at Mr. Big's restaurant as a bouncer. And because Southtown was such a crime-filled place, she needed to be taken seriously in order to survive. She needed to dress like a man in her head. She needed to dress like a man in order to be taken seriously as a bouncer by the countless mobs that visited the restaurant. And because she was a fighter and she was attending street fights, she decided to dress like a man so that other men would take her seriously during a fight because she didn't want any man holding back on her just because she was a woman. And honestly, it worked really well. She actually had all the men fooled, deceived, and befuddled. Later, in the story of Art of Fighting 1, Ryo meets King at the restaurant and he fights her in order to get information about his sister under the assumption that she was a man. A fight which Ryo ends up winning by throwing a coke can at King's chest, exposing her breasts and revealing her identity as a woman in front of everyone. And King would relay information to Ryo that would end up being very crucial in finding his sister who was kidnapped by Mr. Big. And ever since then, they've always had a decent relationship with one another to the point of actually being friends. In fact, they were such good friends that in Art of Fighting 2, in King's ending, Ryo and Robert surprise King by revealing her brother, who can walk, because they paid for the surgery to fix his legs after she helped them find Yuri in the previous game. Ever since that moment, King has always had feelings towards Ryo, and she often displays them also slightly. But Ryo, being the martial artist he is, being the sternly focused, stubborn martial artist he is, who's always focused on training, becoming stronger, becoming buff, is focused on manly stuff, he never really notices her. It's actually a running gag throughout the KOF series that Ryo can never tell when any woman is flirting with him, just because of how dense he is and how straightforward he thinks. But to be honest, when I see this intro against King, it makes me think he's aware. I like to think that he's just more shy than she is. It's very cute, them greeting each other like gentlemen and whatnot. I think Ryo's just too much of an old school karate man to gather the courage. Poor King. Thanks for reaching the end of the video. If you have anything to say, leave a comment, share the video with your friends, and consider subscribing to the channel. You know, with every video posted, we try to improve the editing, we try to add some more pizzazz to the videos just to give you more reasons to rewatch the video. You know what I mean? Just add in a few Easter eggs and whatnot. Compared to the last video, we always improve with the next video. And you know, with every video I create, I always discover a new way to just explore why I like KOF so much. And you know, and my goal with these videos is trying to reach out to other people who like KOF as much as I do and trying to convince them as much as I do. So with every video I post, I always insert as much effort as possible. Thanks a lot. This is To Cyclops. See ya.